What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Water Pod, man. It's another night, another great one. Excited about this podcast. We got a special guest in here tonight. I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly what she got going on because I've been trying. I read it and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna save it for the podcast so I can feel like I'm still being inquisitive and I want to learn with y'all. So we're gonna learn together, but. I get the gist of it, man. She's got a lot of great things going on. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get to know her, man. She's become a friend of mine. She's the better half of a lifelong friend of mine. So without further ado, Dom.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So, like I said, we'll get into everything and the business you started, which I was super intrigued by. You know what I mean? I know I was saying being facetious and lighthearted with the intro, but I have read the articles and follow what you do, and I'm like, I got an idea of what's going on, but I definitely want to get into that. But first of all, what's your name? Where are you from?
Well, my name is Dominique Morgan.
All right.
I'm originally from Boston, but I moved down to Charleston in 2018, I think it was.
Yeah.
So going on 5 years now, and I just I was sick of the snow, sick of people. I literally was like, I want to be warmer, but I don't want to be in Florida because everybody goes there. I don't want to be in Atlanta because everybody goes there. Mm-hmm. And then I watched a video on YouTube about Charleston. I said, I heard this is nice. I guess I'll move there. And I just quit my job and moved like the next month.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Well, I'm not going to ask you what you think about Charleston because I'm a born bred Charleston boy. So it'd be like if you ask me what I think about Boston after only being there for a couple of years and then I say something that you don't like. But I've always loved Boston. I mean, I hate y'all's team sometimes, you know what I mean? But I do like Boston. I pull for y'all when y'all had the big three because I was Garnett fan because where's Garnett from?
Exactly.
South Carolina. So, but I do like Boston. And I can understand it's cold. And then you mentioned like tired of people and you know everything I know of Boston. I always look at it as cool as an outsider, mm-hmm. but at the same time, I feel like I look at it as like people who are kind of brash, forward, and if you grow up in the South, like everything I've ingested of Boston is like people who are just real frank and like the South's kind of not like that. Like, oh, you look good, honey, but Boston's like that fucking haircut's stupid. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sorry, I didn't mean to butcher the accent, but that's how it is. It's like that, you know, like it's all just like ball, but it's kind of like got that New York-y vibe where it's just like people just like, let's cut the bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, you know, is that been your experience from moving up there to down here? Does South Carolina feel more hospitable or?
It definitely does.
Not
really. And by people, I don't mean like, you know, all of Boston. It's just my own personal, I was just sick of people. But in Boston, it's definitely, just in the North in general, like New York and stuff, it's just like, okay, like, let's go. We gotta go. So when I came down here and people like, oh, hey, how you doing? And saying hi, I'm just like, why are you talking to me? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when I started working at the first job I had down here, and I'd be at work like, oh, we gotta go. And they're like, you know, you can relax.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go so fast, right? I'm like, well, we gotta hustle. We gotta go.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean by that because it's kind of like with my job, like once I switched jobs and I come from like a industrial, not an industrial plant, but doing marble and granite countertops and stuff. I used to work at a big company and it was just like, like all the time and and then I moved over and it was like you said, everybody's like, you gotta slow down. Like, we gotta stretch this job out for a few days like this. And I've heard that from a lot of people that moved from up north to the south, just a lot slower. Like, you gotta learn to be like patient and just be like, yeah, everything's gonna happen. Just let it happen. You never know what's gonna happen in between. Yeah. But when I was like in New York, when I was a kid, I went up to New York and they're different. Like you try to hold the door and people like take offense to it almost. Or it's like, dude, just get the fuck out the way. I'll get the door myself. Like, you're taking too long, you know. And then. I was in like a advanced class or whatever. It was called ACE back in the day or whatever. And the whole 8th grade or 7th grade class, went to the 7th and 8th grade classes out of that, went to like, it was a dope trip now that I think back on it. I wish I would have been like more into it. I was just, didn't really understand the gravity.
You're younger, you don't really.
Yeah, I think I was like 12, maybe 13, you know, so like I was joking and talking to the girls and doing all that dumb shit. But we went to like the Monticello, we went to the Liberty Bell, we went everything from on the East Coast from Charleston all the way up to New York and back. We hit like the big landmarks, DC. But in New York, we were like sitting on the steps of the Smithsonian waiting to go in, like, cause they're gathering everybody up. And we had like a tennis ball. We were just like throwing it back and forth or whatever. And like one of my friends tried to throw it to me and it fell and it just like bounced a few times and then it stopped. It barely touched this lady's back. It hit her in the back. And I was like, oh, like South Carolina shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to throw that ball or whatever. And the lady just looked at me, picked it up and threw the shit across the street. Like over a taxi, like just threw it over the street and turned right back around reading her shit. It's like, no, we don't play that shit up here. Like you that's your ball, you take care of your fucking ball. You don't let it hit me. So, and it's probably like, that's the thing about New York, is not like what's dope or the, at least in my opinion, when I've looked at the North, it's just more eclectic. Like,
yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's like more diversity. It's like, not that it's not diverse down here, but it's just so many different like people. It's literally just different people.
Yeah, it's a different vibe up there because down here, like you said, there's diversity, but it's different from the North because down here, you know, you see diverse people, whatever, but then they all have Southern accents, and I was like, that's tripping me out because that's not what I'm used to. Like, I'm used to people like speaking in their accents, like from their, you know, their country or whatever, because that's how I grew up. You know, it's in a, you know, multicultural neighborhood. So it's just coming down here. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a little, you know, it's slower, it's a little different, but, you know, it's warmer, so that's a plus. Right. So I'm good.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't deal with up there, is all that snow and all that.
No, I have a picture of my mom. I think we showed Marcus. My mom's like 5'3", and we had to always shovel out the car, and it was like a wall of snow. Over her with a shovel, and she's just a little tiny next to the car, and just, you know, couldn't get out the house. You open the door, snow up to your chest. I'm like, I'm not.
Oh my god, I've lived here my whole life, and it snowed like 4 times maybe. And I'm not gonna say my age, but that many years, lots of them. And when I say snow, you would laugh. You'd be like,
it's not.
Like, I'm talking inches, like 2 inches.
Yeah, I was here when it snowed and it melted by like the afternoon.
Yeah, no, like there was only like, since I've been alive, there was one snow that like was 5 or 6 inches, I think, and like you could actually, like, real snow you could make, but I was only like 2 years old when that happened. And then like later on down the road, when I was in my teenage years, there was enough snow that like we were able to make like snowballs and snowmen, but our hands were just hurting because it was like, it was melting your hands because it wasn't like, it's not real snow like you said, it's like ice. It's like a slurry, and then they shut the damn bridges down, and like I can't imagine coming from up there and like coming down here and seeing like a snow, because you're probably like, these people are crazy. They're like driving their cars into ditches. Yeah. The bridges are shut down. Like,
it don't make no sense. I'm like, it's ice. Get some damn salt. Like, just get it. Like, every time you know this is going to happen, because y'all been through it before, get some damn salt.
Yeah, y'all live by the damn ocean. Y'all got salt water right there. Just spray some of that shit on there and do something. Like, God. But it's the South. Like, we slow it down. We're like, what do you mean? We're taking work off for the week.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna go to the beach and watch the hurricane next week. Like, we don't care. Like, that's one thing down in South Carolina. It's like they'll get you off of work.
Yeah.
They might not pay you for it, but they'll get you off of work. Yeah. So you've always, that's Boston's your home, like, since you were little, and you grew up always in Boston.
Always, never been anywhere else. I was just like, I need something different. I've always wanted something different. And I thought when I went to college, I was going to go to Miami and go to school. Because I was going to do like hotel, I think it was hotel, hospitality management or something. in Miami. It didn't happen. I stayed in Boston. So I think since then I was always like kind of pissed at myself, like, oh, you should have went. You should have went.
Mm-hmm.
But then after like years went by, I said, well, maybe it didn't happen for a reason. And then when I finally came down here and things start happening for me, I'm like, okay, this is when I was supposed to move. This is where I was supposed to move.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
That's a tough one because it's always like that. It's like, you regret something, but then it's like then something happens and you're just like, well, I look at it like that too. I just wish you could. Sometimes you wish you could see it beforehand. Be like everything. Because when you're in it, you can't. You're just like, man, all this shit sucks. You're just feeling down, and then like that next thing comes, and then you feel like this might be fruitful, and this is something that's like inspiring me and getting me going. Like I needed it. So yeah, you need that change sometimes, and you need that just resurgence in your life.
Yeah, just a fresh start to break away from like all the old stuff and anything that's like been weighing you down. It's hard to break away from it when you're sitting in it still. You're sitting in the same place, around the same people, around the same situation. So it's hard to get out of it. But when you go someplace new, you're like, okay, I can start over.
Yeah, because that you're definitely you are who you hang around. You are, you know what I mean? Like it's not. We were talking about this before, but it's like you don't want to be you don't ever really want to be the smartest person in the room if you can help it, and you don't ever want to be the most ambitious person in the room if you can help it. You don't ever want to be the most honest person in the room if you can help it. Like you always want to be around somebody that can like cultivate your good qualities instead of accentuate your bad qualities. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we run into a lot of times is you get in with a certain person or group or feeling, and then like it accentuates the parts of you that are detrimental to you. You know what I mean? Whether it's like drugs or alcohol or lying or just toxicity. Like we're just gonna sit around and gossip, and then like if you get around somebody like that and you're just like, we just sit here and gossip, then you don't ever grow. And then if you get around people that are just like, we're gonna sit here and talk about like how we can market this, or how we can strategize this way, or how we can, you know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, now I'm growing. So it always feels good when you find that thing in it. Are your like how'd y'all end up in Boston? So I should say, because like I know I ended up in Charleston because my dad's dad was in the Navy and he got stationed in Charleston, and then so my dad met my mom, which my granny was a gypsy, and they traveled, and then they moved down here. Yeah. And that's how they met. Is your parents from Boston as well, or?
My mom's originally from Boston, always lived there until we came down here. She came with me. Whole family's always been from Boston. I think like way back in the day, I think her grandfather was from Virginia, and then went up into Boston, and then that's how he met like her grandmother, because she was from like South Boston, whatever. So that's how they started. And then my dad, he's from Honduras. So I think he moved from Honduras to Boston. I don't know if he was 17 or 18 when he came. And then I think they met somewhere in downtown. I think they both worked downtown, and like that's how they ended up meeting each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, is your dad wild as fuck, or? I don't mean to.
That man.
Sorry, that's
no. You're not wrong.
When you said Honduras, I know a few dudes from Honduras, but there was one that I used to work with, and they called him Honduras. And this dude was one of the wildest people I've ever met. But he was, I'm sure your pops might have been more. This dude was like straight out of Honduras yesterday.
He was wild in other ways. Not like,
Not just.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast, man.
Okay, we ain't gotta get into that. But so he came from Honduras, and then your mom always lived in Boston.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Boston. So, like, I don't know, like what I loved about Boston all the time, and I've always wanted to know is like, how was it like growing up there and feeling like having, because I don't know how it feels to like have those sports teams and that history and like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing that I hate down here, because I'm so like, I grew up playing sports. I love sports. I always have I got sports hanging on my wall. I watch. Like you'll catch me, dude. I'm watching like cricket. People playing cricket in India, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't even know how that shit scored. Yeah. But I just like competition, and I like that feeling. And like down here, we do not, especially only South Carolina, not the whole South, but South Carolina has like, all we have is Clemson and Carolina, and that's not. That like, how does it feel having the Celtics or?
So it was amazing because we have like, you know, the Patriots and stuff like that. Like, we have the best teams, and I feel like we are the best and worst fans, because like we're just like we riding for our teams, you know. So that was another thing when I came down here. I was like, oh, we should go to a football game. We should go, like, where's y'all's team? Not really thinking about anything, because I just watched a YouTube video. Like, I'm just gonna come down here. It looks nice. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you know, like, we had the Patriots. So like, what's your team? They're like, Panthers, maybe, kind of like that's it.
We ain't no Panthers.
And I'm just like, oh, but like we can't go to one. They're like not here, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have moved. Right. I really was like reconsidering being here, because I'm like, okay, well the basketball teams, they're like college, like I'm like, no, like.
Where are the Celtics?
Yeah, like where are they?
Who did the Celtics play?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Nobody in here.
But growing up like that, it was just like, you're born in Boston. It's like, you like the Celtics, you like the Patriots, the Bruins, the Red Sox. Like, that's it, you know. So it's, and my brother, he's a fucking Yankees fan. Like, I don't get it. I have a friend that's a Yankees fan too. She's gonna know I'm talking about her. I can't stand it. I'm just like, why? Like, for what? But it's also, it's great to have that kind of rivalry, because when you're at games and stuff like that, like, it's all fun too. Like, it's really exciting, you know.
Yeah, some people take it too far, but for the most part, they do. It's definitely, it makes a community. It's like, it makes the community in ways too. Like, that's what I say a lot of times, and I don't think I can articulate it properly, but I tell people, like, the music scene down here is like so spread out that like we just down here, we don't really have like that one thing to get behind, you know, like the Celtics. Like when the Celtics are in the finals, you know what I mean? Like, it's everyone is chilling, everyone is having, you know what I mean? It's not like everyone comes together and they're like, fuck you tomorrow, or I might not like you tomorrow, but tonight we're high-fiving, like the Celtics are playing, like we're in the finals, and like we don't have that down here, you know. So I wish we did. It does really suck. So getting into like your business, we can lead up to it more, because you said you're from Boston. I know we went on a tangent because I'm just so I'm intrigued by Boston. I always have been. Like, I love the accents, even though it's like, to me it's Mark Wahlberg or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you don't have that accent, so I know that like, and I don't have like the typical South Carolinian accent either, so you can be in the middle. Yeah,
it's definitely, my grandfather definitely has it, my grandmother had it. Like, you know, I feel like the older people in my family have it, and then like me and my cousins, like, we really don't. I feel like when we get pissed off, we do. But it's not, you know. You
can do it. You know what I mean? Like, you can do it. That's the same with me. Like, if I want to, you know, talk, I'm about to do it, but I ain't gonna do it. If I want to talk Southern, I could talk like the country folks that are in my family and around. But I just thought, like, you know, when you're from outside, you think Boston's all that. But so So did you go to school for what you're currently doing? Like, in Boston, did you go to college? Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a way, I kind of went to school for what I'm doing, but not really. I went to UMass Lowell first, and I thought I was going to be a doctor. And then I was like failing my bio class. I said, yo, I hate this. Like, we started out with, I think, like 100 and something kids. And then by the time I think the final was coming or whatever, like more than half the class was gone. They was just like, this is not for me. So I transferred over to business management, like everybody did.
Right.
And then I ended up leaving UMass Lowell because I was like, yeah, I couldn't. It was just like other personal stuff going on. I was like, I need to go home. Like, I can't be here. It's just, I originally didn't want to go to that school. I wanted to go to UMass Amherst. And I found out I got accepted there, I think a week into being at UMass Lowell, and I was pissed. I was like, what?
Damn.
Yeah, I was so mad. But I was like, you know what? Everything happens for a reason, whatever. So I left there. I think it was like February of like 2008 or 2009 or something like that. And then I ended up going to UMass Boston and finishing my business management there. Then I worked for a little while. And then I ended up signing on to Southern New Hampshire University online. And I was like, I want my master's. So I ended up doing that and then finishing that halfway through COVID. And after that, I'm just like, well, what's going to happen? We're all furloughed. I don't ever want to be in this position where someone could be like, okay, well, I'm sorry, we got to let you go.
Yeah,
I don't want to be in that position. At least if I lose work, it's because of me or something like that. I don't want anyone to have my, my future, my career in their hands. So, as soon as I finished my master's, after like struggling with that and be like, oh my God, this assignment, like having a friggin' mental breakdown, writing a 30-page paper, it's due at midnight and it's like 10 p.m. And I would still do it and get an A. Don't ask me how. But, after that, I'm like, okay, well, I seen this virtual assistant course. I never knew what to call what I wanted to do. I'm like, I always work at the front desk. I'm good at admin. I want to do it from home, but I don't know what to call it.
Right.
So I found that. Ended up taking that course the month after I finished my master's. Finished that, I think, 2 months later. Started my business a month later, and then had my first client a month after that.
Nice.
I think. So that's what really got me to do it, because I took it and it taught you like a whole bunch of different things you could do. Even if you didn't like all the topics that were in the course, it's like at least you get to see everything.
Right.
And you get to learn what you like. So then after that, I was like, okay, I could really do this because I'm not trying to go back. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, no, never that. It's interesting because, like you were saying, like when you got into the course, to me, it felt like when you got into a course that allowed you to see what you were doing and, like, because that's one of my gripes with, like, and I'm not, like, this is total just me talking, but, like, with like, trying to be a doctor, it's all like schooling, and I know they do like clinical trials later and you learn all the stuff, but it's almost like we might be shunning the best doctors ever that just didn't like my wife. She's a very like hands-on learner. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's a lot of people that are just like, if I can do it, then I can learn it. You know what I mean? If I can watch you and I can go, and I'm not saying like just let somebody open,
do surgery.
Open heart surgery, but it's just like some people don't. You know what I mean? Not saying you. I'm just saying like, I hate that like our education system is just so like black and white. It's like there's no room for creativity and for like creative thought. You know? That's why I was struggling in school all the time, because the teacher would talk about history, and I'm like giving another side, and they're like, no, this is the side, or they're talking about anything, math, whatever. Like, I'm always like, well, we could look at it this way, and it was always just like, no, but there's like a curriculum.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and then and there's some teachers too that I know they can't stand that, because they do want to teach like, like, let me just teach my way. They also want to be creative, but sometimes it's like, no, you have this curriculum, and it's like this their job, and it's like, oh, fuck, I need my job. So just read the damn book, Michael. Like, just read chapter 1, 2, and 3, and just do the homework at the end. But it is tough, and I do feel like for school, I wish there was more creativity, like you said, but it's just like everything's a benchmark. Yeah. Everything. You gotta make it. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta pass boom, like. You gotta
do this. Different thresholds and all that.
All that stuff. It's like you gotta pass these, state exam or school exams. We used to have the MCAS. I don't think they have it anymore in Massachusetts, but that was like the thing, like the whole school year. When you're in high school, you take the stats. When you're in, I think it was middle school, whatever, you take the MCAS, and if you didn't get a certain benchmark, like you felt like an idiot.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my God, I missed it by 2 points. And sometimes you would get scholarships for the stats or whatever, SATs.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I missed it by a few points because if you got a certain level, they would give you a certain scholarship. And I missed it. And then there were people that would be failing class all the time, showing up late, didn't really care, would like cheat on the test. And they're like, oh, I got the scholarship. And I'm like, you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I really could have used that.
Yeah,
you know?
that definitely is like a punch in the stomach when it's like, I always hated that because you know, but when you have integrity,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And you're just like, and it's not, I don't think it's just that. It's just like, it's not just integrity. It's like some people just have that like undying will to learn. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I am. That's why I wanted to have you on because, like I said, like I heard about the business you're running and all that, and I'm just like, I want to know. Like, I want to know what she does because it sounds interesting. You know what I mean? Like, you talk to most people and you're like, what do you do? I do countertops or I paint or I do drywall or I do this. Like, and those are admirable whatever you do to make your money, like, do you, boo-boo.
Right.
But I'm intrigued when I hear something that I'm just like, don't fully understand. And I'm like, you know, that's cool to me. It's like, what exactly are you doing? Like, especially when it seems like you're genuinely helping people, which, you know what I mean? Helping them run their businesses or helping them grow or helping them do things, you know what I mean? That are hard to do. So, like, me as a business owner, especially, I'm just like, how the hell, how can my stuff be easier? You know what I mean? And what she got going on. So, like, when you have a client, what are your type of clients? Like, what are you helping them with in your business?
So for me, whenever I, speak with a potential client, I'm always like, okay, think about your business. Think about what you do every single day. What do you hate? Like, what gives you the problem?
That's a good way to start.
What do you hate? Okay. And then I tell them to do, I'll call it like a brain dump or whatever. I'm like, write down everything you do. Then look at that list. And then take off that list only the things that you are able to do because you're the CEO, you run things. Like, no one else can no one else can do it. You have to do it. Then look at the rest of it and say, okay, can anybody else in my business do anything on this list that, Michael has to do this. Dominique can't do it. Okay. Whatever's left over, I'm just like, bring it to me. Let me look at it and say, I could do this,
Yeah.
And if I don't know something, I'm like, you know what? Give me a day or two. I'll figure it out. There's been so many times where I'm just like, I've never used this system, but I will sure enough go in there and make a free trial. And I'll be in there like, oh yeah, you could do this. Did you know you could do that? And they're like, no, I've had it for like 3 years. I didn't know, So it's just, that's how I start out with them. And I have all different types of clients because at first I was like, I'm going to do social media. Yeah. That's it. And then, like I said, my thing has always been, front desk, admin, all that stuff. So then I ended up I work for a couple of therapists and I do like the scheduling, customer service, all that stuff. And then a quilt owner, upload her products for her on her website. And I was like, I never thought, like, it's pretty cool. Like, I never thought I would be doing that for someone. And the person fixed typewriters. And I'm just like, this is kind of cool. Everyone's a little different because I'll get bored doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
But everyone's different. They have their own personality. They have their own problems. Mm-hmm. And then I like learning. So I get to learn along the way. And I'm just like, I've never...
Sounds like my dream job.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm just like, I've never done this before. So this is cool. And, I made someone a website. I never made a website before. Yeah. I said, girl, let me figure it out. And I did it. And she loved it. Yeah. She was like, this is great. This is amazing. Like, like, I don't know what I would have done if you didn't help me. And I'm just like, wow, like, I could really do anything.
Yeah.
I really can.
You sound like me because, like I said, I've been, like, taking photographs from people. I'm not a photographer, editing them up, and I've been doing a podcast. I've always known how to record vocals and mix those down because I rap. But the cameras and stuff, like, I've been getting better with the cameras, editing all that myself, you know what I mean? Getting my boy Foolish to help me shoot them, and everybody that's been helping out. Like, I ain't did it by myself. Like, nothing's done by yourself. Like you said, you got your clients, you got your people, but, you definitely have to have solid support. But it is fun learning, like, how to edit or how to do this or pictures and stuff like that, and minor video editing. Like, I'm not going to act like I'm just a complete novice because
Yeah.
I've been tinkering with it since I've been, because I rap. So
Yeah.
before I had like people to pay to do it for me, I was doing it all myself. But so I do have some experience in all the aspects, but it is fun to learn new things and like uh what you were talking about with your clients and everything, you know, like the, meeting new people and doing new things and being able to like, you know, figure it out on the fly is like what makes things great, you know what I mean, and what makes you gain more clients. And sounds like to me that you care a lot about the people that you're working for and what you're doing. And like what I really like, because honestly I was looking earlier and and like stuff pops up on my feed or whatever, or people, it was on Facebook, one of my buddies was like, yeah, they're hiring somewhere for something, and it was like lean manufacturing. So it was like basically you look at a system in a plant or an industry or what you're doing, and you figure out where you can, it's lean, you figure out where you can trim fat, not in people but in the production line, you know, or what you're doing, you know. It's like you look at a system and you're like, why is he doing this when this guy's already doing this and he could just do that too, and then boom, like this guy can do this other thing, and now we've killed like 4 birds with one stone instead of, you know, just 2. You know what I mean? It's like y'all were killing 2 birds with one stone, but now we're killing 4 because this dude's, you know, we got 2 dudes throwing a stone.
Yeah, no birds were hurt in the making of this video.
Bird. But yeah, so like that's kind of the approach you take, is like people come to you and you look at their business and you're like, how can I alleviate the things that you shouldn't really be doing, and how can I help the people that are doing things do them better or more efficiently?
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes it takes like another set of eyes to look at everything. Because you could go, no, I've thought of everything. And I'm like, well, no, you can do this, this, and this. And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
like I didn't think about that.
I can.
You know, but it is, and I love when people are so happy, or I get like, you know, texts or emails from clients and like, girl, you can never leave me. Don't ever leave me. You know, I don't know what I would have did today without you, or thank you for calling this person. Like I've been trying to get like, you know, this balance on an invoice for a year, and you got it in a week of me giving it to you. You know, I'm like, I don't play. That's why.
Yeah, I do my thing.
Know?
That's right. So what are your goals for your business? Like, because I love everything you're saying, and how many clients theoretically you think you can take on before you, like, are you trying to expand and grow? Are you trying to train others to come in and be part of your business that's helping these businesses? Or do you have like, you want to have like 100 clients that you help specifically by yourself, or what?
I think my goal right now is that I would like more clients, but I'm shifting from a virtual assistant to an online business manager. So that will be like project management, team management, more of the bigger picture.
Right.
So more of like saying, you're the CEO, you have your team, and you're just like, I don't know, this one keeps dropping the ball. I feel like this could be streamlined, but I really don't know, but I don't have the time. I have to do the marketing. Like, I don't know. And that's where I would come in and just, you know, be, you know, not in control of the team, but be like your other set of eyes, you know, like I said, and just seeing what's going on and going, no, well, if you guys do it this way, you know, this can happen. Or just getting the cliff notes from meetings, because you have more important things to do by connecting with other people. And I can bring you what I've learned. So that's what I'm kind of transitioning over to in the next couple of months, hopefully, and just getting more clients like that, and hopefully having less clients, but, you know, getting paid more, you know, because that's the goal. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
But I
think harder, work smarter.
Right. Yeah, but I do think eventually I would love to be able to go back to offering VA services, but when I can actually hire people and teach them how to do what I do. So I would love to do that. And I was also thinking about eventually having my own like co-working space. So like online co-working is like a big thing. So I've met like some of my closest friends through co-working. We've never met in person, but you know, they're in, you know, Washington State, they're in Florida, Alabama, you know, But we've been like getting on these meetings. We'll do weekly meetings and it'll be like an hour and a half long. Work for 30 minutes, 10 minutes of just shooting the shit, talking shit, like how the kids doing,
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. But it's like an accountability thing every week. So if you're like, last week you said, oh, by next week I need to have this, this podcast up. It's been giving me an issue. They'll get on there like, so Michael, did you do it?
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, damn. And they're like, well, pull it up and you're going to do that. That's what you're doing for the next 30 minutes. And then on our break, let us know where you're at. So it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but,
I need that.
Right. But they actually have
Get off your
co-working
ass.
spaces where you can meet in person. And they actually have them like in other countries, certain websites where you can go and, stay. It's like a hostel type situation, but you have internet, cafe, and it's built for remote workers. So I would love to create something like that where people can come and, you have a gym, you have a cafe, you just want internet and like space, or you need a private area to have a meeting or something like that. That's like years and years from now, but that's something I would love to do.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So it sounds like that's the best thing to have is big goals, but just in the short time talking to you tonight, like I could tell that you're very, there's big goals and then there's goals in between, and you make sure I think a lot of people like put the horse before the carriage. They get ahead of themselves and they want to hit that big goal first, and it's just like, man. And like you said, like whenever you meet different people, or you don't go exactly to the school you want to go to, or you move to some random place, it's like you never know. Like if you would have skipped all that, then you wouldn't have gained the knowledge and experience and the love and passion.
Yeah, exactly.
In between, so
yeah.
But do you have like dreams of like? I feel like you're so passionate about this that you want to affect your world or people's worlds with what you're doing. So is that another like part of the goal, is to maybe help out your friends or your family, or you know what I mean, or you want to be able to look out for your mom or whoever, is that part of the dream as well?
Yeah, that's definitely something that I've always thought about is, doing work like this. I have location freedom. Eventually would like to have financial freedom because I'm creating my rates. I'm choosing who I want to work with and, spend my energy with, because how you work for a company and you're just like, oh, this person came in, they were an asshole to me, but the customer's always right. So I have to friggin' smile. And I could be like, you know what? I'm ending our contract because you don't talk to me like that. Bye. And just be done.
Yeah.
So like, I love that I have that freedom to do that.
That's a great freedom to have.
But I do want to help other people because I do think about my friends, and I still think about people that I worked with at the front desk, and I'm like, oh, so-and-so would really like kill it as like an ops person.
Yeah. Or
this person, like if she was in charge of like, customer success or something, like she would be it. And they don't know I think this way. They don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But I always think of that, and I'm like, if I can make it bigger, I could bring this one in, and then she can have freedom to do whatever, and then she can have this rate and she doesn't have to do that anymore. So I think of all that stuff all the time, and I also like would eventually like to teach people how to be a VA, just like I learned from someone else. I would love to teach other people, and just be real with it too. Like, don't think you're just gonna do this and then, oh, I'm gonna make. There's people on the internet. I made $10K a month and I started a month ago, and I'm just like, yeah, but they're not telling you they're spending $9,000 to get those people like in ads. You know what I mean? Like, that's an exaggeration, but like some people won't tell you that.
Right.
So I would like to be able to tell them, like, you can do this, but it does take time, and it does, sometimes you're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be like, why did this person leave? Why did they end the contract? And people will do that because their business isn't doing well.
Right.
They can't afford you. It's not your, it's nothing you did. So it's just, I would love to teach more people about it and just help people find what they're passionate about and what they love. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure out how to do it from anywhere.
Yeah, let's figure that out, and how to do it effectively and efficiently. And if you want to make a living off of it, then let's figure that out. So that's dope, because that's why I said, like, because we've hung out and been around each other with Marcus coming around, and we've been chilling, and I've been around you a handful of times, 5, 6, 10 times, somewhere in there, but every time it's just like I could always tell like you have like a mission in it. Like I don't know, man. You can catch a person's vibe and like and Marcus is like that too. Like when I talk with him, you know what I mean. Shout out Marcus. But when I talk to him, it's like it's certain people are like goal oriented and they really want to like figure out like or supportive too, because it's like I can sense that in you. Like you see people that and you're just like, don't stop, keep doing it, do it till they hate it, do it till they're mad, do it, just keep doing it. You know what I mean? And like you always get out that vibe. So I was like, I gotta have her on the pod because I know that you have your business going on and all that, and I could see that you're trying to like build something and grow, and you know what I mean. And you didn't want to talk about the traumas, but I guess like you know what I mean. I don't know if you have trauma, but
oh hell yeah,
but
man.
everyone has trauma. But I feel like people with trauma for whatever reason cross paths, and they help each other like not fix them because you can't fix it, but you know what I mean. Like let them know that like, hey, we've been through some shit, but we gonna keep going. We gonna keep moving. Like that doesn't define us. That's why I said like a couple podcasts ago I had a dude on and I was telling him, I was just like, the worst way that trauma can affect you is if you let it become you. You know what I mean? It's like when you let things dictate. And I even was like in jest, I was like, your ancestry or your astrology or like all those things, your trauma, all those things might be a part of you and they might affect you in some type of way, but don't ever let it become you. Don't let it don't start adapting and taking on the you know what I mean? Like don't take on the characteristics of that trauma. The symptoms. That's what I was looking for symptoms, but characteristics is great too. Symptoms of that trauma. Like don't like when they say like you had a bad childhood, so you treat your kids bad. Like it's breaking the cycle essentially.
Yeah,
you know
it don't make any sense. And like for me with my trauma, my issues, whatever with family or whatever, it kind of made me not trust people, of course, and made me always think if I want to get something done, I got to do it my damn self because I can't trust anybody to do it.
Right.
And just don't waste your time trying to count on people to be there for you the way you are for them. And I had to learn how to break that thinking because there are some people that are genuinely like, I'm trying to help you, girl. Like, and they really are trying to do it. They're like, you need to stop. Like, you're over here stressing out. You're whatever. I told you, I got you. Let me do it, Marcus. So, you know what I mean? So he'll get on me for that. Like, just like, let me do it, but it is hard. But I think that fueled me in my business where I'm just like, with the whole COVID thing, we got, let people go, which it happened everywhere. And I'm just like, no one else is going to be in control. I'm going to do it my damn self. I'm going to be good. I'll be all right. So that's why I just keep, going.
That's dope though. It is hard. Like I will attest to that because I'm a man, like it is hard as a man. Like we're like problem solvers. So, I was listening to something or read this book. I don't remember if I listened to it or read it, but it was just like, men don't know if it's like I learned this from the book. I was like when me and my wife talk, when she calls me like after work and she's saying something to me, I'm like, am I listening or am I solving? Because I'm like, I don't remember where I heard that, but that shit stuck with me because I didn't really realize it until then, because when she would call me with something, I'm like, she'd be like, oh, my job's pissed me off. I'm like, quit the fucking job. She's like, but no, like this is, I'm like, well, okay, well then don't quit the job. Like, tell them you want this, like whatever the case may be. And she's just like, no, like I just want you to listen, just like let me get this shit out, and then when I'm done, everything will be good. But as men, we're always just like, you're like this dude this dude bumped into me at the store, and we're like, all right, we're in the car, we're coming to fuck him up. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, whoa,
you're
whoa.
like, no, it's cool. Like, he apologized, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And you're like,
yeah,
I'm still coming to fuck him up. Like, I just know how to solve the problem. That's all I know how to do. And like, and not that women don't know how to solve problems, but they like to like talk through them and stuff like that. So it took me a minute for that. So, but that's another segue into what I was gonna say, like, because I was talking about how you like care for others and all that, but I also, you know, I wanted to have you on because my demographic, I ain't stupid, is mainly men, and I definitely wanted to have a strong, independent woman that's out there doing her thing, and like, do you take pride in that for sure, and or you don't really think about it, you're just like doing your thing business wise, or do you have any reservations about it in any sense? Do you want to help other women?
I do. I definitely want to help other women. Like that's just it. But
well,
I definitely am.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like push you into saying it. I just feel like,
seriously though.
Yeah, I just feel like that's what mainly attracted me to you, to have you on the pod. Like, not attracted me.
Calm down, man.
but yeah, that was one of the main things, is because I don't want my pod to just be some dudes mansplaining everything all the time and talking about their shit. Like, I definitely wanted to have some strong, independent women that are about their business, and like, so I definitely wanted to have you on to speak your truth. And if there are other women, like if there's other women like you that are feeling like they shouldn't take that move or they shouldn't take that leap, like, what would you say to them? Like, let's just go there instead of like me just complimenting you to death. You know what I mean?
You can keep going.
Or trying to use you to get more audience. Like, no matter what I say, I'm gonna
Michael's
sound
great, guys. Watch his podcast.
Watch my podcast. I love women, especially strong, independent Black women. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not about that.
It's for other women that would want to do it, I would just say fucking do it. Because of my experience, I would always go, oh, maybe I should, and then not, and then not, and then I did it like 10 years later.
Right.
You know, and then even now I'm like, I wish, because I thought this way in college. I said, I wish I would have just like went out on a limb and did it, especially in college. You know, I'm in school learning the business thing, and I could have had that going. I was broke in damn college like everybody else. You know what I mean? I'm like, I could have graduated and already had a career.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, no, I got to do this and then go work here and do whatever. You just have to do it. And it's when you're the most scared, that's when you just need to do it. I'm scared every time I take a chance. I'm always like, what the hell am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? And then it turns out well. Sometimes you are going to fail, and it's fine. You can just learn from that. The failure doesn't mean the door is shut and you're terrible. That's not what it means. It's just like you fall down, you pick up the lesson, and keep it moving. So that's what you have to do. And it's like, I also, and like, don't get it twisted, I struggle with this too. There's sometimes where things happen and I'm just like, oh my God, like, I don't know how I can move on from this. I don't know how I can, like, what do I do now? And, you know, after a while, I'll just, no, like, you've been through X, Y, Z already. Like, stop acting like you can't get through this either.
Yeah, so just that's great advice, though. Take that leap of faith. And you're 100% correct with when you feel the most uncomfortable, that's when you're leaving your comfort zone. And that's where you find new things. Like, you don't find anything new. Not that things in your comfort zone are bad. Like, there are great things. That's why you're comfortable there, because good things, you know, it might be the love of your spouse or your mother or your kids, or you like that. That's comfortable, but you need to have that kind of friction to really ignite. Like, it takes friction to ignite a spark, you know, to make a fire. You rub two sticks together, like, that's what you need. You need that friction, you know. If the two sticks just laid there and felt comfortable, nothing happens. So we got, exactly. And it like, it was funny when you were talking, because it reminded me of this past weekend, me and my daughter went with one of her good friends and one of my good friend's daughters, but we all went to his papa's house and went swimming. And Haven never jumped off the diving board. You know what I mean? And it's the deep end, but she had her swimmy on or whatever. She could swim, but she was so nervous about it. I was like, it's just like she jumps off and anywhere else on the side of the pool, but the diving board is like this much higher.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. Dude, it was like 15 minutes of me sitting down there in a pool float, like, come on, you could do it, you could do it, you could jump off, and she's like, no, she's like going through everything, and she's at the edge, her toes are white from just pushing down so hard, and she's shaking, and she's like, I can't. She would count to 3, like, I'm gonna go on 3, and then she wouldn't go. We went through like 27 count to 3s, but then, like I was telling her, and to tie it back into your story, is like that leap of faith, like it feels just so unnatural and so uncomfortable, and you're just like, everything's gonna go bad, you know, and people might be around you telling you like, just do it, like you're great at speaking, you're great at managing, you're great at this, you're great at that, and you're just like, no, and everybody's telling like, once you do, you're gonna feel so great, and that's exactly what I'm telling her. I'm like, as soon as you jump, you're gonna not stop jumping, you're gonna love this diving board, you're gonna be doing front flips, like it's just jumping, and she couldn't do it, but then she finally did it, and once she did, you just
exactly,
you know what I mean? So like, I just thought that was a great analogy, because it made me think, just like that's how scary it can be sometimes to really go out and put. I think a lot of times people, especially me, it's just so hard to put faith in even yourself sometimes, because you've been let down by everyone else so much that you're like, unless I have complete control of it. And when you do things like that, you really don't. When you apply for a job or when you go into business, like you have most of the control, but there's always like how people feel about you, or the clients, or the market, or the this or the that, you know what I'm saying? So like, unless I can completely control it, I have zero faith, you know what I mean? And that's the hard part, is like getting that trust in yourself, and sometimes too in trust in others.
Yeah, because you have to like, sometimes you have to like let go and just like, okay, let them in, because you know they could really help me, I could really benefit from this. But it's hard to do that when you grow up that way and you're an adult trying to stop doing that, right. You know. But once you do, like, that's how you find your people, that's how you find your little tribe, your little, you know, whatever. And you're like, okay, this is kind of amazing. It's like, yeah, you don't need to let everybody in, but you can have your core people, and you're like, okay, these are the people, these are my people, yeah.
So you plan on staying down here?
I mean, yeah, for now. I mean, it's like, if you act right. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I do. I definitely love it down here. I definitely do. I do want to see other places though, and I do want to travel around. But I know I would probably always come back here. I like traveling
too. I like to travel. I've been blessed to see a lot of places. You know what I mean? And like, and maybe I'm biased because I'm from Charleston, but at the same time, I'm one of Charleston's biggest critics. Like, I'll sit here, like, I know, like we talked about, no basketball teams, everything's old, like they don't want to update nothing, like everything's just, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm definitely, I've always felt more attracted to Atlanta, you know, because that's like, every time I've been to Atlanta, that's like my pace, that's my vibe. And so Charleston's always been slow paced for even me, even though I'm from here, because I've been to Atlanta, I've been to New York, I've been to Vegas, I've been to Louisiana, New Orleans, like I've been all these places, and I'm like, why the hell we ain't got to be that extreme, but we can be like, we can loosen up a little bit,
like,
guys.
Give me a little something, like even
like,
the transit system down here, man, listen.
Like, something we can't even, like, they won't even give you them little electric scooters and shit downtown. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. So, I'm like, why is the bus like one every hour? Like in Boston, like every 15 minutes or every 20 minutes, unless it's snowing. Like, then you know you're gonna be standing, you know, in a snowbank waiting for like an hour. Like, you know what I mean? But I was just like, what about the trains? And somebody was like,
like, well, you want an
like
Amtrak?
the
You
Amtrak,
trying to go back to
literally
Boston? What
the
you talking about?
Amtrak. I'm like, no, y'all don't have like a train that go to North Charleston.
Like, no, you can get on the bus, and that shit come every 3
Listen,
hours.
I hate it. But like up there, it's like I went to school getting on public transportation. You know, they had school buses, but we're like, fuck it, let's just get on the bus. It's right outside my house.
Yeah.
Get on the train, go downtown, go to school, go, you know, whatever. So I was used to just being able, like, I don't need a car, I don't care, because I can just get on everything.
Yeah.
You know? But here, I'm like, damn, you really gotta like get a car.
Yeah, you gotta get a car. Well, I think that's the difference though, is out here it's like it's spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you lived in Charleston, you literally, because everything you've probably noticed since you've been out here, we're like, I'm from Charleston, but I'm from Goose Creek, or
Yeah.
like people are, Charleston is like all these places, you know, like, but Charleston is only like 10 miles wide. You know what I'm saying?
people-
If that. So like,
Yeah.
so it's nowhere near like living in Boston or Atlanta or New York, because we have 4 million people in our whole state, and Boston's probably like 2 million people just in Boston.
Yeah, because even people will do that too. They're, I'm from Boston. And I'm like, oh, wait, like where? And they go, Springfield. That's like 45 minutes, an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Like, that's where Six Flags is. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you know there ain't no Six Flags
Like,
in
that's
Boston.
a damn, like, we used to go on field trips there. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? You're not from, you know, you've been to Boston, you visited, but, you know, but it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's the same thing.
But shit, I don't know. I feel like you picked the perfect state, especially like with the business you're running, because you don't necessarily have to be in that city or town or county to help the people that you're trying to assist and give service to. So if I could work remotely and do my research and do what I had to do to work and live in Boston or New York or anywhere compared to Charleston, like, what do you mean? 20 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
The weather is like, when it's cold, it's like 40, 50.
Right.
When it's hot, it's like 90, and I could go out to the pool. Like, I would probably choose here too if I was having to work remotely. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a good, easy flowing, good spot. So, what's the name of your business, by the way? I don't think we got into that yet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can, we about to wrap it up, but
Yeah.
we'll tell them how to get in touch with you and what the name of your business is, and of course I'll throw the logo on here.
Yeah.
And how to get in touch with you and how they can receive your
Yes.
services.
Well, my business is called Creative Ambition Virtual Solutions, and you just add .com on there. You can go on there, see my services, pricing. You can also book a consult with me. A consultation is about 30 minutes, and it's free. Just to figure out if we're a good fit, or just to ask me some questions about what I do.
So you don't take their money and then say
Hell no.
oh, don't call me no more.
No,
I'm just
hell
kidding.
no. No, there's some people.
No,
Listen.
that's a proper way to do it. So
Yeah.
you gotta definitely get at Dominique, get her, talk to her. She can get you hooked up with a free consultation, like she said, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And Creative
Ambition Virtual Solutions.com.
Creative Ambition Virtual Solutions. We'll put the logo on there, and we'll put the website and how to get in contact with her. Like I always say, think harder, work smarter. If you want it to grow, just add water. Water boy, Dominique Morgan, thank you so much. You're so gracious for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. It's the Water Pod. Peace.